Okay guys, I got my iced coffee and I came out here pretty early this morning because I need to finish planting my tomatoes. I've been putting it off for so long and I've done a couple of rows now. Everly's back there playing in her little tub of water because that's what she likes to do every single time we come outside. But I've got almost 2 rows of the tomatoes planted and I have 3 more still to plant. And I also need to get my yellow squash in the ground and I need to get my watermelon in the ground as well, so I'll show you that. But also a fun little update on my zucchini. I have my first zucchini plant that has flowered, so hopefully we'll be getting some zucchini really soon. I can see some little babies popping up down there. My other one still doesn't have any flowers, but I'm sure it will start flowering pretty soon because I see a little bud popping up right here. This is my yellow squash that I'm going to get in the ground today. I don't know if it's supposed to be doing this. I've never had a yellow squash before, but this leaf, I don't know if it's actually supposed to be doing this, but it's kind of pretty. And then I have this watermelon that I'm going to plant off to the side and hopefully be able to train it over that way. Here are all of my tomatoes that I'm planting out today. And I'll show you what I use and everything here in a little bit and how I plant them and whatnot. I also need to re-sow some pole beans because not a lot of them came up. I have one right here, one here. These are pinto beans. And then I have a couple more here and there, but not very many of them made it, so I'm going to re-sow a bunch of those. I repotted a bunch of my peppers last night. So up here I have the cayenne peppers. This shelf is bells, except for that I think this is oregano. And then this bottom whole thing is jalapeno. So I need to, or I don't need to do anything. I repotted them all yesterday. I'm going to leave them in the greenhouse for a little bit longer before putting them in the garden because they're still kind of small. So after I get all of the peppers in the ground, I'm probably going to go ahead and take my greenhouse down and put it away for the year, as well as all of my seed starting stuff down here. I'll put that all away for the year, or at least until the fall when I'm sowing some more stuff. And then I have all of these onions that I need to find a place to put them today. I have some cilantro down here that I need to find a place for. That's my little herb garden. And then I also need to plant up all of these sunflowers. I've got a few planted along here, and this one's getting really big. But I need to just go ahead and plant the rest of those out today. These are all extra tomatoes and zucchini, which I'm giving away to friends and family, so I have a few people that are going to be coming and getting some of those, or I'm going to be taking them to them. So hopefully I can find new homes for all of those. So the last thing that I need to do today, well, I also need to weed all of this because it's just becoming a jungle in here. But I need to pull up, my shadows in the way. I need to pull up some of the bolted lettuces. I've been keeping them around for the bees, but I think it's time to pull them up. And I may plant some peppers in the bottom layers. I'm going to keep my lettuce and kale around for a little bit longer just to see if I get one more harvest off of those. You can see my strawberries are doing really well. I'm starting to get like a little bit each day from that. So my main objective for today is to get the tomatoes in the ground and plant the sunflowers. So if I don't do anything else today, I at least want to get those 2 things done. So I need to stop rambling to the camera and just get into planting. So let's go get into the planting. Okay, so I told you guys that I would show you how I plant my tomatoes out. So tomatoes kind of have this little magic power. I'm sure you've heard it before because I hear every gardener talking about this. But basically, there's these fine little hairs on the tomato, Actually, I'll show you up close so you guys can like really see what I'm talking about. See all those fine little hairs along the tomato plant? So it has the ability to produce roots wherever these hairs are along here. So you can basically plant it as deep as you really feel like it, and it will produce roots all along there, which makes the plant so much sturdier. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break off a lot of these lower stems here. Probably these up to here. I'm gonna just break all those off, and then I'm gonna plant the tomato down to here. So I'm gonna plant most of it under the ground so that it will have a nice sturdy root structure. So hang on, let me get my shadow up. So I've dug my hole and I've cut it pretty deep down in here, so you guys can see the tomatoes gonna be well down in there up to this stalk right here. You want to plant them pretty deep, so I'm going to put some worm castings down in there, some azomite, and then this organic garden tone feed. I'm just going to mix all of that into the hole and then plant my tomato down in there. I like to use a good amount of worm castings in there. It's probably like 3 handfuls, and just mix it in there. And then I only use a pinch of the azomite in there. Spread it all around. And then I do a small little handful of the garden tone feed and put it in there as well. And then I just mix it all down in here. Make sure it's in there. And then I'm going to put the tomato down in there. I like to tease the roots a little bit just to get them kind of unstuck and loose so they're free to kind of grip onto the soil a little bit better. And then I put it way down in the bottom of the hole, and I just start filling it in with the soil. And I kind of like to mound it up around the top of it too. Oh, I usually throw these in, but I forgot to do that. I like to throw the stems that I broke off in the ground too, so they kind of just break down and feed the soil a little bit more. So yeah, I just kind of scoop as much around it as I can, like that, so it's kind of hilled up a little bit. And that's that. And then I'll just put a tomato cage around it like I did with these over here. So I waited way too long to plant these. They're already, some of them are already starting to flower. This one's got little flowers right there.